Welcome to Meeting of the Minds TV. I'm your host, King Khazm, and right now we are at the Emerald Street Studios at Washington Hall. Man, today we got something really special guest, all the way in live and direct from the Philippines. We got hip hop pioneer and icon by the name of Gloc 9. It's good.
Yes, sir.
Word. Just to give you a little bit of background, Gloc 9 is really a pillar of hip hop in the Philippines. He's been doing his thing as an artist, a writer, composer for the last 25 years, paving the way for hip hop, not just in the Philippines, but globally through his music and his lyrics and his original styles. Um, he is an esteemed MC. He has a lot of accolades that run dozens and dozens of awards from two FAMAS awards, 21 awards, 18 Mixed Music Awards, 9 p.m. PC Star Awards, many more. He is a humanitarian. He's done a lot of amazing work using his music and his lyrics as a platform for positivity. He has his music is studied in educational curriculum, which is really cool to think about the power of music and how that can inspire creative thinking. One thing that I particularly like was that in 2012 he was appointed the National Peace Ambassador by the Office of Presidential Advisor on the Peace Progress, and has performed around the country and world in advocacy for bringing unity and ending conflict. So this is really the root of hip hop is about bringing forth unity and positive change. So it's really beautiful to see your you know large volume catalog of music, and thank you for joining us here today.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I'm just curious, like, we all have our unique paths, and you've been doing it for a long time. 25 years is a very significant amount of time, and rightfully so. You are essentially like a pillar to the scene. And so, what were some of the kind of the early influences of hip hop that really got you into it, and was like, yo, that's what I got to do.
Um, oh man, I started. I encountered rap music when I was 12 years old. 12, 91, 1990, 91, and my cousin, he bought us, I think, a cassette tape of Francis M. Francis M is one of the really one of those who really started rap in the Philippines and
Mm-hmm.
made it really popular. So I listened to Francis M. And then that's when I said, "This is," because I before I really wanted to be a singer. I try I tried to like sing and join in singing contests, but I realized that I lack in vocal talent. You know. But then I when I was introduced to rap, I realized I think this is what I really want to do, because it's rhythm and timing and phrasing of words. So when I heard Francis M, I was like, this is the music I want to do. And then a friend of mine who came from the States, he he has a CD of Dr. Dre, The Chronic. So that was my first introduction to Western hip hop, and I was like blown away with everything in that album. And I liked Lady of Rage. I like Corrupt. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, um, and then even the I started then I started listening to like the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Soundtracks were really big back in the day.
yeah. And I ride a jeepney to go to this mall, and they sell like um, imported CDs from the States. So I bought that CD, and then one CD I bought was the soundtrack of Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case.
Yeah.
And so I one particular song that I like and that soundtrack was, I forgot the title, but I know the artist, Boss Hog.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah,
yeah.
that. So those were the early stages when I was introduced to rap, um, and then I learned about Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Mm,
So
mhm,
so from Dr. Dre, I started to listen to like Crisscross, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and then I encountered Twista.
oh,
When I heard Twista, I said in Bone Thugs and Harmony, I tried I tried to rap like that in Tagalog, in the Filipino language, and I I listened to their albums, and then Twista's album and Bone Thugs and Harmony's albums in my Walkman. You insert the cassette, you listen to it the whole day, and then and one time I said, okay, I get it. Now I know. Now I know how they do it, and I tried to translate it in Tagalog, do it in my native language.
mhm. Well, yeah, you definitely have chops. That's what we call it here. Is definitely high energy, a lot of chopping, and you definitely got a lot of different styles and diverse skill sets. So I know that one thing that really impressed me is that early on, once you really before you started a solo career, you were a part of a group called Death Threat,
Yeah,
and you had connected with what was it, Hijack. And one thing that really impressed me was the ability that you had to mobilize the community and to get people behind your music. I mean, I think I saw something like multi-platinum um, status just independently, right, without any kind of major label backing. What was that time like for you? How did you be? And this is early on in your career, so like just
this was '97.
mhm,
Um, I always say that I'm very my the maturity of my music back then was um I still lack maturity when it comes to like writing and um not to not to uh degrade the works that I've done before, but I feel like after when I when I started doing my solo songs, I realized that because before the songs that we did was like was the songs that we hear in the states, and back then in '97 it's all about like violence and trying to show people that you're tough. And when I realized that I can still I can do more with my music, that was when I was writing songs as a solo artist. And then, but back then I was I was actually uh, I got cut off from the group, and I thought like with 2 years of work, I thought that that's the end for me with rap. But then if you love something, you come back, and then if you really love that your craft, you come back, and then you do it again. But then I have to deal with introducing myself as a solo artist. So
mhm,
yeah, that's one thing I've learned. It's my maturity, the maturity that I need in order to like be heard by more people.
mhm. I think it's incredibly impressive how you guys were able to just create a movement, independently, and like you said, to be able to reflect and to be able to grow. I think that's really important. And a lot of times in music, I saw a clip recently of I think it was Lauren Hill that was talking about how folks and her peers and people in the industry were pressuring her like, you got to put out an album, you got to put out an album, and for her it was like more important to have life experiences
Mm-hmm.
because that gives you the time to reflect and to have moments
Yeah,
to speak and share upon, right?
yeah.
So, but if you're just jumping from the stage
And then just
into the
writing
studio,
songs and writing songs and writing songs.
then it's hard to really have those unique experiences
Yeah.
that people love to connect with. Yeah. So speaking of which, I really love you have all kinds of music, fun stuff, lyrical stuff, chopping. You got music that speaks to social justice and making positive change. In particular, you had an national anti-bullying campaign, and a lot of your music has messages of peace and using hip hop as kind of a platform for positivity. Can you maybe talk a little bit about like some of those experiences, like the anti-bullying campaign and um, some of the different music that you've put out that like how does that affect people?
Yeah, if me myself, I know how it feels to be bullied. So I I came from a family that doesn't uh, have so much. So we only make do of what we have. So when I was in high school, you only wear we only wear shoes that we can afford. So like if you get make fun of, and so at one time they got my shoes and throw it around the classroom, and laughing. And I know how it feels. And you know when I was asked to be involved in that campaign, anti-bullying campaign, I was like, I was very excited. And um, every time I perform in schools, I um, I always make sure that I send out the message that it's sometimes sometimes the ones that you bully are the ones who succeed most of the time.
Mm.
So never think that you are above anybody else, and always think that everybody everyone is equal.
Mm. I appreciate that, and that's really courageous and strong of you to do that because a lot of the, especially the trends, especially in the mainstream, it kind of conveys a certain kind of bravado and kind of
Mhm.
this lifestyle that is not, it's really detached from reality, right? So we kind of tend to emulate or mold ourselves around this facade in life, and
Yeah,
I think it's really admirable to do music that speaks to your experience and to really challenge people to think about what they're doing and using it for good.
we only me my music is something that I use to get their attention. Now, if I have their attention, then I try to send a message, the real message that I really want to say. Um, because if they don't know you and they don't listen to you, they won't pay attention, right? So, yeah, with what you said about emulating, I saw this video of Jay Z saying that nowadays they only emulate the end result, and then
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to do the process of the coming to that result. So that's what I always tell like young artists. You need to put in work. And be an example to others. And I'm not perfect, but I try to set an example. If they tell me you need to be here at this time, you go there. Don't be late. Just- I know that people won't remember your songs, especially us in the Philippines, like rappers. They won't remember your song, but they will remember if you're punctual, if
Mm-hmm.
you're late, and they will tell you
Mm-hmm.
to other people.
That's some real fruitful knowledge there for the aspiring artist. I definitely feel that professionality is everything. Indeed. So speaking of music and a lot of times we are able to use it as kind of a way to address the social ills and kind of the 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 inner workings of society and a lot of the challenges. In what was it, 2013? You did a video called Dapat Tama, which
Oh yeah,
translates to what's right. And
choosing.
yeah, I felt that was very powerful because it's essentially during the election period, really challenging people to exercise their voice. A lot of the working class people are going through so much struggle, and for us to be able to exercise our voice and to be able to, you know, vote
Yeah.
and think critically about our elected officials because essentially the government is us, the people. We,
Hmm.
the people, are the representative of the government, so we have to empower ourselves. What was that experience like for you?
I that campaign when I did that. I was asked to do a song for like encouraging people to choose what is right for not just like some like few people, just what is right for everybody and for the country. So, um, and then I have the song Upuan. It's about like a song of the greed for power. I try to write songs that help people to uh, to see, clearly, and be able to make them see what what's really happening in the Philippines, and especially when it comes to politics. And um, I've done I've done several songs, if not a lot. Um, but I believe that songs that we write, they're when you release them, they're a different entity in itself, and I just wish that if we release those songs, if I release those songs, and it it would it would bring positive change to other people, and would uh, give them give them enlightenment. And but as a writer, and like me doing it for a long for 25 years, you also realize that you can only do so much. It's I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing that you I realize that regardless of how many songs I write about us choosing the right choice, it's still the people who will choose it at the end of the day. You can only do so much, and
Mhm.
um,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, we can't do everything, but we can do something.
yeah.
And you've definitely done many things, and I think that I've know that has inspired a lot of people to in their own communities to be able to
Yeah.
you know express themselves and become artists and become involved in their community. And so
If I see somebody, like if I'm performing, and if I see just one person happy and be inspired with with my performance or with the songs that I did, that's enough for me. It's right now. It's not about, like, for me. It's not about being popular anymore. And it's not about it's. I think it's me being able to pass on what I've learned for the past 25 years, and
mm,
uh, uh, be able to inspire others. And you know I'm very proud of young artists right now, because they're starting to maximize their talent and their potentials at a very young age. I was able to start with what I do, and with everything that's going right. I was only, what, 31 years old,
mm,
and now in the Philippines they're like doing it with 19,
mm-hmm,
20.
mm-hmm.
And it's very exciting. But I always try my best to tell them, like, you have to be aware of, have to be mentally stable, because it's hard to contain everything that's happening. If you get popular instantly, it's very hard to contain.
Yeah. I saw in a recent interview with Nas. He said, "Kill the ego and focus
Ego
on
is
the
the
craft."
enemy, definitely.
Yeah, King's disease. He said it was. Well, 25 years. You have a massive catalog of music. You worked with a lot of artists. You have developed your own artists. You on the tour. You have Shanti Dope and Evan New and as you see the culture evolve. Like what are you inspired by? What's happening right now
I get inspired by everybody right now. Um, when I meet artists that are really really good, I think when you get older, you don't get intimidated anymore, and you don't feel jealous anymore, and you just get inspired. I think you ask yourself, you get to ask yourself, can I do that? Can I still do this? Or can I do what they can do? Um,
Mhm.
it only inspires me to be better. You know, um, I don't have time to think of feel bad because they're doing good and not and I'm not doing that. No, it's it's different. It inspires me, and I've done songs right now which really surprises me, and I never thought I would be able to write songs like that before. But because of the new artists that I meet right
Mm,
now, it's really inspiring.
mm. I love that the continuum from the past, present, and
They
future.
only yeah they if anything they only help me to be better. I get introduced to different styles of writing. I because uh, I've been doing my style of writing for decades, and then you meet this young kid doing the style of writing that I can't dissect. I was like mind blown.
Right, right. Yeah, and they said it was just a fad, right? And here we are,
Yeah.
50 years later, and seeing that beautiful culture evolve and continuing to evolve. Well, Glock 9, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Good luck on
Thank you.
all your
Thank you
work.
so much. Thank you.
Right. My name is King Khazm, and we'll check you next time. Meeting in the Minds. Peace.